99 problems, but removing supports ain't one.
Spiky Bits.
Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Rob Bear from SpikyBits.com, and we have a bit of a requested kind of piece of content for you all today. So earlier in the year, we showed you our journey on basically starting to learn 3D printing and everything you would need to kind of get started. And then I point you at some other folks out there that have better videos on the different aspects of 3D printing, and you can check that all out, and we'll probably link it in the comments and in the video itself over on our 3D Essentials hobbies page. But the one comment I get the most from everyone, and it could be because we retail 3D prints now, we buy licenses from folks and actually sell the 3D prints, is how do I get what's the easiest way to get the supports off the sprue? And we do include an instruction kind of pamphlet with every order to just kind of show you, hey, take a second and read this, just so you know exactly what to do. But it's actually super easy, and you can almost kind of prep it while you're doing something else, and then just kind of come back to it and knock it out. So let's take a quick look at that. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it, but I do want to show you how I go about doing it. And it's very, very simple. And in a lot of cases, all you need is 2 thumbs and 2 fingers.
Okay, so we're in the kitchen, and obviously whenever you're working with hot water and sharp objects, you want to be super careful, right? So we basically filled up a plastic bowl with water, microwaved it for 5 minutes. Now, a lot of people are like, hey, microwave water, and get it hot. But when you microwave water, you want to be super careful, because when you open it, it could flash up on you when it comes out. So just open your microwave and just see and make sure there's no flashing, because you don't want to stick your hands or your head in there if it's going to flash up on you, because that's bad news bears and nobody wants to get burns. Now, to remove 3D generated supports from your models, it's a little tricky, but for the most part you can do it with your fingers. You want the water to be hot, but you don't want it to be scalding, and you definitely don't want it to be boiling. So I don't know if you can see in here, but there's a little bit of bubbles on there. It's not boiling, but if I put my hand in it, it definitely hurts. It's not scalding, it's not gonna burn my skin or anything, but it's probably around, somewhere around 130, 150, I don't know for sure. But that's probably the temperature you want it to be. So use some tongs and grab, your piece out, and then you can start to work on it. So that being said, let's grab our piece out and get it over some towel action right here. Dab off all the water. Now you're gonna notice that, let me get it in a frame here. See how the supports are wiggling now? That's what you want. You want it to have some play. So let your parts soak in the hot water for 5 minutes or so, and they'll almost come off the sprue. Look at this arm right here. I can literally pull it off with my fingers. It doesn't shatter, it doesn't do anything like that. And this exhaust piece right here, it's pretty much the same way. You can kind of get your thumbnail under there and then pop it off, and there goes the part. Now if you want, now is a good time to do a little bit of finishing. If you have your X-Acto blade and you want to come out and oh, there's a couple of studs I missed or something, it's possible. Now is a good time to hit them, and just get in there and just kind of you probably shouldn't use your knife like this, like you're peeling an apple, but I've never been super safe, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't. So then you can kind of do a little bit of finishing on your model. Now, if you have a larger model, like say this orc guy right here, and you're like, oh crap, it doesn't really, it wiggles, but it doesn't really super wiggle. What you can do is grab your clippers, right? And now that it's warm, don't do this when it's room temperature. You can get in here and start clipping these sprues away, so that it gives you a little bit of room to work and to kind of peel these supports back on your own time, rather than hurry to get the water all the right temperature. So we're going to get in here, we're going to separate it from the sprue, and then I'm actually going to put it back in the water to get it super hot again. Well, not super hot, but you can see these heads, because they're smaller, we can just pull these right off. This one started to harden up a little bit, but that's okay. And then just make sure this is all cured, looks good, and we're going to throw it away. Easy as that. Now, a little bit of a pro tip if you have a lot of things to take off the sprue right here, then, and yes, using your cases of Monster make great drying trays, then you can have another thing of water in the microwave ready to go. So when this cools off right here and you're done with it, just make sure all your models are out of it, grab a fresh, new, hot pan of water from the microwave, and you're good to go. Get this one microwaving and kind of swap them back and forth as a process while you're doing it. Now, the very last step is once you have completed pulling off all your models from the support, super easy because they're hot, then just put them in a little drying tray or rack with some paper towels. You can let them naturally air dry, or what you can do is put it in front of a fan, like a little desk fan, and they'll dry up in like 20 or 30 minutes or so, and then you can start priming them and you're good to go at that point.
Okay, so I admit that footage was pretty potato, but it turns out it's actually really hard to record yourself when you're only one person. And unfortunately, it's not content I could create while holding the camera or having it suspended above me, or just my kitchen isn't set up for it, is what I'm trying to say. So what I was trying to show you there, and I hope you kind of learned something from that. I think the actual like how-to was there, but maybe you couldn't see quite the close-up of the actual footage. So I had something like this. I think it might have been this exact orc. And all I'm saying is, if you have something room temperature that you just printed and it's cooled off, you're not going to want to take your clippers and start clipping and try to get these supports off here, because that's just like clipping into a brand new chunk of resin, and all it's going to do is shatter everything everywhere. So you're going to want to do kind of what I just showed you in that previous footage. You're going to want to dunk it in the water for roughly 5 minutes, and then kind of pull it out and kind of see if the supports are wiggling. Stuff like this that is thicker is going to take a little bit longer to heat up, as opposed to smaller parts like this head. Now this is that hardcore riders from Hardcore Miniatures that they allowed us to sell to kind of help promote their socials right there. So it's a pretty cool looking model. And it's got a little Santa hat, and of course the normal like kind of I guess this is more of a I guess it's kind of like a Mongolian / Asian kind of thing ported over to the orcs, as we saw a long time ago. And then this is the model itself. Let me zoom in on it after it's cleaned up and glued down to a base, and you can see this is pretty rough. I did it pretty quick, but you can see there's a couple of spots that might have like a little nub or something, like maybe right there. But for the most part, if you just follow that, and you're always gonna miss a little spot, so check it before you prime and get in there with the like this. You can actually separate right now with a little X-Acto blade. You can just kind of if you missed a little piece, you can just get in there and just kind of notch it like that, and yeah, that's gonna shatter, but it's not gonna shatter your model, which is no big deal, right? So once you get in there, and this is, of course, I didn't settle on a head yet, so that's blue tacked on, but once you get in there and do all that, you're usually good to go. You might see a couple of nubs right there that just need, there's a couple right there, supports too, that just need to be like either filed down, or just take some really good grit sandpaper if you want. You can do it that way, or you can just do something like that, and you're good to go. Just like a normal resin model that you've probably been working with for years, that you maybe haven't done that yet, so that's why you're watching this video. But other than that, it's good to go. So there's a super easy way to get this to this, and it just involves a little hot water and what we just showed you right there. So hopefully that clears it up. If you have any other questions or know any other better ways to do this, please let us know in the comments, and definitely share with others, so we can all kind of be on top of this and find the easiest way to remove these sprues, because nobody likes playing roller coaster tycoon in real life. That's for sure. So that's it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can be the very first to like and comment on all our videos.